Good morning, this is Nick with Williams Sewer Line Inspectors performing a video inspection for 1017 Gilwood Avenue in La Puente. We're starting our inspection today from the roof. We're seeing an access pipe here on the roof. Out there toward the back, that's the backyard. And over there, that's out toward the street. Okay, let's go ahead and get started here. So we're going down a vent that connects to the sewer line. And this is the sewer line that heads out underneath the house, or rather, more correctly, it's called the building drainage pipe. It's not until it gets outside of the house that people typically will refer to it as the sewer line. Alright, let's go ahead and just clean off the camera so we have the best view possible. Okay, let's try this. Okay, so we're starting into the pipe here. Underneath the house, we're looking at a cast iron material. We do have a shift there in the pipe. Possible damage to the pipe at that location. Underneath the house, we do not have very much that we can say that would give us a very clear indication of whether or not a pipe is damaged. We don't see any heavy roots at this location, so we don't have the ability to tell you with certainty that any ability to leak at that spot exists. What we can tell you is that this is where the pipe starts to exit the house. We're going from cast iron to clay. We have another shift in the pipe there. We have an existing clean out in the top of the pipe there. Alright, let's keep going through a little bit. Bit of a crack to the pipe there as well. And there we see right on the bottom right hand corner of the screen. See, the pipe is pretty significantly cracked and shifted downward. We're not seeing any heavy roots at that location. But since we're going to be recommending a very good access be installed here anyway, this would be a good location to do that. And while that access is installed, you can actually replace this section of the pipe at the same time. It's complementary activity, so you can really save cost by doing them together. As we continue a little ways further, we see, I think, the first set of roots in the system. Shift in the pipe there as well. Okay. With a clay pipe, you don't have rusting or erosion. So a clay pipe doesn't necessarily have to get worse over time. It can remain in functioning condition for a completely unlimited period of time, theoretically. That being said, it's not a flexible material, so in an earthquake, sometimes the clay pipe can get damaged. Also, clay usually allows for some roots to intrude into the pipe. In this case, I think you just have a lack of trees. So really, there's no root systems that are trying to get in, which is a good thing. We have some minor cracking in the pipe there. Here we see some minor cracking in the pipe just on the right-hand side of the joint there. It's very rare to find a clay pipe that doesn't have any minor cracks or minor defects in it. Most clay pipe will have some wear and tear over time. It's had a lot of earthquakes. It survived, and some shifting soil and everything else. It has had some stress put on it in the past. And that puts it into the category of an average clay sewer line at this point. Here we're switching over to, looks like cast iron. The difference in cast iron to clay is that while cast iron is stronger in some ways than clay, it does rust, so it doesn't have potential for just continuing to work without any limitations. Eventually it does wear out. We're not seeing any obvious signs of failure in this particular section of cast iron pipe, but it is showing signs of age. And typically cast iron pipe lasts somewhere around 80 years from its initial date of installation before it's expected to require replacement. Okay. Back into clay here as we continue through the system. Bit of a shift there. Bit of a crack there at the connection to the city sewer line. That's probably the most significant of these minor defects that we've seen so far. And while I'm not specifically urging you to repair this at this moment, because I'm not seeing any shifting or heavy roots at this location, I don't recommend that you simply forget about this. Minimally, you want to review this in 3-4 years and see if it looks like it's shifting out of place at all, or if it looks any different than it does at this time. One important thing to realize is that on the exterior of this section of pipe there could be a sealant which is actually preventing the roots from getting into this section. It might also be preventing leaking, so I'm not specifically recommending repair. If you wanted to go ahead and do a repair on this, there'd be nothing wrong with that. This is definitely a defect of the pipe and it could be repaired. But I'm not trying to exaggerate the importance of it at this time. I would just very strongly urge you to take another look at this as a minimum in, let's say, 3 or 4 years, to give it enough time to show if it's changing over time. There's a possibility that this section of the pipe has looked like this for the last 40 years, and I don't want to exaggerate the importance of it by just showing it to you now without any evaluation. Okay, let's push forward a little bit further. We have the city sewer line here. So this is your first section of pipe where the city would start to take responsibility for it and doesn't any longer require you to do any maintenance or repair. This being the last section of pipe here, which is owned by this property. Okay, I'm going to locate this for you and get some additional information which will be included in the written report. Please see that for all the final findings and recommendations. Again, this is Nick with Williams Sewer Line Inspectors. Thank you very much, and have a great day.